This is how to have the perfect day in Magic Kingdom when Disney World is slammed. I'm in Magic Kingdom on one of the busiest weeks of the entire year. It is Christmas week, and this is historically the most crowded Disney World gets out of the entire year. So things are gonna go a little different today, but I'm gonna flash back to this morning and let's have a perfect day. Good morning. We're starting our day in what is probably the most magical part of the most magical place on earth, and that is the Magic Kingdom parking lot. It's around park open time. One thing you'll notice on busy days, it's going to take a lot longer to get to the park no matter what mode of transportation you are taking. Obviously I drove because I live here. And we are parked pretty far back in the parking lot already. And park hasn't even opened yet. So we're parked pretty far back. It's going to take us a while to get into Magic Kingdom. And we're probably going to get in a little bit after park open, which means we're going to miss a true rope drop. But that's okay because we're starting our day with something very exciting that is going to be kind of an unconventional rope drop, but still a great option if you can manage it. We're going to grab a parking tram, head on in. Hopefully it doesn't take us too long.
Alrighty, good morning everybody. On behalf of my lovely driver up front and myself here in the back, we'd like to thank you for joining us today on our Heroes Courtesy Tram.
They have extended switchback queues set up in front of the security, and every time people get off the tram they jog over because the lines are so long. Wild. I think we're in for a pretty interesting day. I've been coming to Disney World for almost 2.5 decades. I've been working this job for 4 years. How long have I been here? Yeah, 4 years. I've never seen it this busy. Christmas week to New Year's week is the busiest week of the entire year. That doesn't mean you won't see crowds at other times, but it is for sure the busiest time of year. We are kind of on a time crunch to get over to Magic Kingdom, and I'm going to show you what I'm dealing with. So that's the monorail line, which is, as you can see, extremely long, and they have switchbacks set up all the way through the entire transportation and ticket center. I'm going to head over to the ferry boat. I am not super jazzed about this, though I do actually prefer the ferry boat on most days. When I'm in a rush, I like to do the monorail, but with a line like that, the ferry boat is going to be faster. The ferries are much higher capacity than the monorails. They take longer to load and unload, but they take exactly the same amount of time to get from Transportation and Ticket Center to Magic Kingdom. Now this journey that I'm making, you will skip this if you're coming from a Disney World Resort hotel. You will go straight to the gates of Magic Kingdom, which is awesome. Whether you are taking the monorail or a bus from your hotel or a boat, you will head right on over to Magic Kingdom and skip this part. If you are not coming from a Disney World Resort hotel, this is your Magic Kingdom arrival. Even if your hotel offers busing to Disney World, it will drop you at the Magic Kingdom parking lot if it is not a Disney World Resort hotel. So just be prepped. The other way to trick that, if you want to skip this kind of insanity, is you can book a minivan. This is a Disney affiliated lift offering. Minivan is a much more expensive option than a regular lift, but it will drop you right at the gates of Magic Kingdom. So if you are coming from a non-Disney affiliated hotel and can at least get to Disney property, or which some hotels are on, you can take a minivan. All right, I am boarding the upper level of the ferry boat. As a general rule, if you don't have wheels, head to the upper level. It means that they can get more people on the ferry boat, more folks can get moving in and out of the park, which is great at crowded times like this. Now, something else is that I am dealing with a ton of crowds. The park has opened now, so it is park open at the time that I'm doing this. Yesterday, Sage, Breedlove, and I did a little experiment here at the Transportation and Ticket Center, and we did that an hour before the park opened, and no one was here. Literally yesterday. So you can actually see that in his I Go to Disney World Every Day and hear our new tips for 2024 video. Check that out on the channel right now. It's cold on the boat. Before you guys yell at me in the comments for being cold, it's 53 degrees Fahrenheit, which isn't warm. All right, we have made it to Magic Kingdom after a pleasant, if a little chilly boat ride. And our first stop is actually going to be Tron Light Cycle Run, which is wild. But we've got to get in the park first, and we are kind of rushing because we have a virtual queue reservation for Tron, which gives you an hour return window. Now, ours was called before the park opened this morning, which can happen. I'll talk to you a little bit more about it, which means it ends in just 10 minutes because it took us 35 minutes to get over here from the Transportation and Ticket Center. So it ends in just 10 minutes. And with Tron, they are not super lenient about late arrivals. So I'm gonna kind of motor over there, and hopefully we make it in time to be able to start our day with the newest ride in Disney's Magic Kingdom. So with new or popular Disney attractions, you might run into a virtual queue. Right now in Disney World, the only 2 attractions with virtual queues are Tron Light Cycle Run and Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Tron Light Cycle Run is here in Magic Kingdom, so of course we are riding it today as one of the most exciting newer rides. To get that virtual queue, you have to be ready at 7 a.m. or 1 p.m. Those are the 2 times that they drop in the My Disney Experience app. In the app, on the home screen, you're going to find this virtual queues section and head to Join Virtual Queues. You can confirm your party starting an hour before the drop, so at 6 a.m. you can confirm your party. As you can see, Sage was supposed to come with me today, but he's been a little sick, so I'm running solo. You confirm your party, and then right at 7 a.m., that is where you're going to be able to book that virtual queue. And I mean right at 7 a.m. I mean, get your clock open and watch those seconds, and when 7 a.m. comes around, refresh that page and tap join as fast as you possibly can. You can see here that on the busiest day of the year, I still got boarding group 11. There are typically over 200 boarding groups today, and boarding groups will be unavailable very, very quickly. This morning it was in a matter of minutes that there were none available at all. Typically, the first hour or 2 of your park day is a time we refer to as rope drop. This is right when the park opens, and it's going to be one of the times when the ride lines are the absolute lowest that they will be all day. On busier days, those lines do tend to climb a little faster than they do on slower days, but that still means you could probably get through 1 to 3 attractions with much lower waits than they will have for the rest of the day. Usually my strategy for that is to head over towards Adventureland and Frontierland, knock out Pirates and Jungle Cruise and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, maybe Haunted Mansion, but not today. Today, because our virtual queue was called so early, we are heading straight to Tron Light Cycle Run to cash that in, because if we are late, they probably will not let us in, which is why I'm very out of breath right now. But it's not actually a bad thing if your virtual queue does eat your rope drop time, and that's because Tron Light Cycle Run does get long waits even after your virtual queue is called. It is pretty common after the first few boarding groups of the day for Tron Light Cycle Run to end up with an hour-long or longer wait. You wait for your virtual queue to be called, and then you have to go wait in a physical line that could be an hour. Getting called this early probably means that will not be the situation for us, and hopefully we will be on the ride relatively quickly, as long as we make it over there in time. The other way to ride Tron is with an individual lightning lane. This is Disney's paid single attraction skip the line. They also have Genie Plus, which is a multi-attraction skip the line service. With Genie Plus, you can skip a ton of different rides, but the most popular are not included in that. In this park, that's Tron and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. For those, you'll have to buy an individual lightning lane, which will let you skip the line, but it is priced completely separately. I have not grabbed individual lightning lanes for Tron or Seven Dwarfs Mine Train today, and that's because I did grab Genie Plus for $27, and I'm not trying to blow the bank just to have a perfect day on one of the most crowded days of the year. I want to spend that money on snacks and treats and having a good time, and not on skipping these lines. Instead, we're gonna get on those 2 rides with good strategy. And you can do the same, I'll show you how. Tron Light Cycle Run is a high-speed roller coaster where you board a light cycle, so you're sort of on like a motorcycle type ride vehicle, and launch into the grid. It is a brief attraction, but a very fun and thrilling coaster, and I think a great addition to Magic Kingdom. Also, update, we did make it in time, it's 9:43. Unlike almost every other attraction, most of the Tron line happens after the pre-show. So this outdoor section is really just a line for the pre-show, and then most of the line is inside. So I'm not really sure how long the wait will be. Hopefully it's not long once we get through that pre-show. One thing that's unique about Tron compared to other rides is that you do have to drop pretty much everything sizable in a locker. There is a small thing that you can use on the ride for your phone. I've been in line for a while, so it's definitely a full queue even this early, which is just an indication of how busy the day is. I'll probably be on the ride in under an hour from when I got in line. It's only 10:20 right now. I got in line at 9:45. For those lockers, you cannot use your phone or your watch. You have to use an actual Magic Band or an actual physical ticket card. If you don't have either, they do have cards they can give you to access the lockers. Remember your locker number, because you do not go back to the same space. You go to the other side of the locker to get your stuff back out. And the rule is nothing around your waist, no bags or anything like that, and nothing on your head. So you can bring like your phone, cameras and stuff, as long as it can go in a pocket or in the little thing that's on the ride. Just no bulky items. Okay, it was a 45-minute wait after scanning my virtual queue first thing in the morning, so pretty busy. But obviously Tron was very fun. It goes fast enough to make my eyes water, like tears, so it's pretty cool. Today I am using GD Plus. It was $27 today for Magic Kingdom. The price is date-based and also changes based on what park you're in, so it's the most expensive for Magic Kingdom and if you're going to multiple parks. But I am headed to Jungle Cruise, which is my first Lightning Lane of today. You get to book your first Lightning Lane at 7 a.m. So I got up this morning at 7 a.m. and right after I did my Tron virtual queue, I immediately swiped over and got my first Lightning Lane of the day, Jungle Cruise. All right, I have made it to Jungle Cruise. Now, Jungle Cruise is one of the most popular rides in Magic Kingdom. It is a slow-moving boat ride where your jungle skipper takes you along, tours you through the different rivers of the world, and tells some serious jokes along the way. During the holidays, it gets a holiday overlay called Jingle Cruise, where there's holiday decorations, holiday-themed jokes, and it has a 110-minute wait right now. So it's obviously very, very popular. Now, lucky for us, we were able to grab that Lightning Lane this morning.
Alrighty. If you friends do lose anything, just raise your hand. I'll raise mine. We're gonna wave goodbye to it together.
Jingle Cruise, very cute. One of my favorite Jungle Cruise jokes of all time was on a Jingle Cruise, where we were being held up to get back in the dock, and the skipper said, "Oh, you guys want to do a Christmas Carol all together?" And everyone on the boat was like, "I mean, yeah, sure, yeah." You know, it was awkward. And then he was like, "All right, great. I think you'll know this one. Marley was dead from the beginning." And he starts he went through like a paragraph of the Christmas Carol, like by Dickens. It was crazy. Oh. So I was trying to get a better Genie Plus time for Peter Pan's flight, because when I was able to book one, it was all the way out at 9 p.m. Now that's not horrible, because, I mean, it is horrible. At least I had one, but I figured I could get a little bit better of a time. So I went ahead and was just kind of idly refreshing on the Modify tab. You basically just click on your Lightning Lane and hit Modify, and you can modify it to the same attraction at a different time or a different attraction, whether you need earlier or later. So if earlier opens up, you can get an earlier time. And that's what I was just doing. And I got 5:35, which is much better, because I think 9 is when wait times are going to go ahead and drop anyway. So I would rather have earlier ones. I did buy Genie Plus for Sage this morning before I realized that he wasn't feeling well and wasn't going to come. Don't worry, he's feeling mostly fine. But I went ahead to Guest Experience, which are blue tents, blue umbrellas that you'll find around. And I asked if there was any way that I could get his Genie refunded, since he wasn't coming today and isn't here. And she was able to go into my account. Of course, she can see that Sage is not in the park, hasn't scanned in, and hasn't used any of the Lightning Lanes I've booked. So she was perfectly happy to refund him for me, so that I wasn't out another $30 that I rather would have not been. So now I have that $30 back, which is great. I think it's maybe time for a little bit of a breakfast. Grab some coffee, maybe like a pastry or something, and take a little break. All right, let's talk coffee. So if you want to get coffee in Magic Kingdom, you have a few options. You can head to Starbucks at Main Street Bakery, or you can head to Joffrey's. Joffrey's is kind of a more local chain that has locations all over Disney World. They have great coffee as well. I prefer Joffrey's coffee for iced coffee and Starbucks coffee for hot coffee. But unfortunately, I have, maybe addiction is a strong word, but maybe it's not, an addiction to the Starbucks holiday drink. So I am going to brave what I'm sure is going to be a very long line for Starbucks this morning. But you do not have to do that. There's a Joffrey's location at the Transportation and Ticket Center on your way in. There's also one in Tomorrowland that you can head to. Now, in the morning hours, those spots are going to have really long lines, but the best coffee. If you're okay with sacrificing the quality of coffee a bit, you can mobile order some Joffrey's offerings from locations in Fantasyland, such as Friar's Nook, Pinocchio Village House, which can be a great option if you are looking to save some time. But since I'm just taking a little break here, grabbing some coffee, I'm going to go ahead and brave the Starbucks line. Okay, couple updates. Coffee took a while. It took 30 minutes to order and get the coffee. Really not that horrible. Other update, I just walked past the ice cream shop and I smelled the fresh waffle cones, and we will be getting ice cream later. Third update, it's a good thing the coffee took a long time, because it's actually perfect time for us to go find a spot for the parade. So the Festival of Fantasy Parade is a really amazing parade that is done in Magic Kingdom. Sometimes once a day, sometimes twice a day. It is twice a day, but we'll be in lunch when it is parade time later. I think it's gonna be a little bit more difficult than usual for us to find a parade spot because of how crowded it is, but I'm tall, I don't need a great spot. If you want a really great spot, I recommend getting set up for the parade 15 to 30 minutes in advance. Go ahead and grab your great spot on the curb. Too bad of a view for the parade. Definitely not the best, but I think considering I had breathing room and I could see all the way to the ground, it was a pretty good view. So that is a view that you can find basically coming out of the hub heading towards the Liberty Square Bridge, and it's great because they block a lot of that part off so that the parade can move through safely, so it means that you get a pretty good view. I will say it does mean that, like, if you've got little ones, they're probably not going to get as up close interaction as they might if they were right up close if you actually waited for that good spot in Frontierland or on Main Street, but certainly not a bad view for walking right up. I am now hiding from the crowds. This is behind Liberty Square. Actually, right now, the gazebo right here is where you can meet Santa. And typically, the stepsisters will meet there. I saw Elena there the other day. But I'm hiding back here, having my coffee break, and it's very quiet and very pleasant because there's like no one back here. So there are still places to hide from the crowds even on a busy day like today. Probably might try to refresh for a little bit earlier of a Peter Pan time, finish my coffee, and then maybe head to something that has a short wait if we can find anything. No dice on a better Peter Pan's flight time, but that is okay. I'm not trying that hard because I don't want to spend the whole day on my phone. So I jumped up. I'm technically not done with my coffee because I drink really slow. But I was thinking that it might be a good idea for us to take the Walt Disney World Railroad. People Mover has a relatively short line compared to everything else in the park right now. So if we hop on the railroad at Frontierland, we can take it over to Fantasyland, have a nice ride on the railroad, stroll on through a very private behind the kind of out of the way place, which I'll show you as a place to hide from crowds, and then get on the People Mover. So Big Thunder Mountain Railroad has a 95-minute wait, or it did, 5 minutes ago when I looked. The Lightning Lane is backed up to here. That's Big Thunder. That's so wild. I just heard someone say, "This is crazy." And he's not wrong. All right, I am passing Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which is under construction right now. I haven't been over here in a while, and they've got a ton of beautiful flowers and foliage up on it. I think it looks really, really, really pretty actually at this point. I'm super excited to ride this ride when it opens in 2024. See the story of Tiana. Splash Mountain was my favorite ride in Disney World. So it's sad to see it go, but mostly what I loved about it was the ride system. And I'm really excited to have the same ride system with some new technology and a new story. I think it's going to be really spectacular. Oh yeah, Big Thunder's up to a 115-minute wait. And boy, oh boy, does that look like a lot. As you can probably tell, the pace of a very busy day is very different from even an average day. My biggest tip that I want you to take away from this video, if you only remember one thing, it is to come in with a different expectation. Do not come in expecting a super busy week like Christmas week or New Year's week, or even if you happen to show up and it's spring break week, something like that, do not expect it to run like a non-busy Disney day. The same advice that we always share stands though, and that is to come with a list of priorities. Have everyone in your family pick one or two things that they absolutely must do during your trip, and as long as you get those things done, you're happy. That way that you're avoiding disappointment and everything else feels like a bonus. On busy days, it's especially important because it is just not possible to do everything that you might want to do. Now, really maximizing a busy day is not completely impossible. Last year, Emma and I attempted to ride everything in Magic Kingdom on Thanksgiving week, and we did all but one attraction. And we had done the same thing on a not busy week and done all but one attraction. So you can see that video up on the channel now to see how we manage that. But it definitely is tricky and involves a lot of planning and a lot of staring at your phone, refreshing Genie Plus, spending money on the skip the line offerings, which isn't always what we want to do. And I don't think it's what makes the perfect day. But that's certainly an option for you too. All right, we've made it to Storybook Circus. I am making my way over to People Mover. There's a really great way to make it over to People Mover, and that is with this like secret little back passageway, which is an amazing shortcut, and you probably don't know it's there unless you do, because I've shown you before, or you found it. But otherwise, you probably don't know it's there. So if you're here at Barnstormer, to the left, it kind of looks like it's just like more line space or maybe exit for the train. It is neither of those things. It is in fact a pathway that's a shortcut to Tomorrowland. Comes out right under Tron Light Cycle Run. Wham bam, Tomorrowland. We made it. Alright, let's head over to People Mover. A second ago I looked at a 25-minute wait, which is long for People Mover, but much shorter than everything else in the park, so we could be okay with that. And as I was walking over here, I realized 2 hours had passed since I booked my Peter Pan Slight Lightning Lane, which means that 2-hour cooldown was up. So I went ahead and grabbed a 7:30 p.m. Space Mountain. Actually, I think I got 7 p.m. Space Mountain, which is awesome because that means that we will get to skip the standby line that comes all the way out into Tomorrowland. All right, it was only a 15-minute wait and I'm headed up this isn't an escalator, moving ramp. I don't know, I guess that's what you would call this. So not too shabby at all to get on People Mover and a little less than posted. Even when you see what looks like a scary line for People Mover, as long as the ride is not stopped, it will move very quickly. This is one of the highest capacity rides in this park, so it's gonna move very fast.
Jetpacks or gravity polarizers, please do not take flight while on board. Thank you.
A pleasant ride around Tomorrowland. I love People Mover. It's definitely one of the best attractions, I think, in Disney World. We actually have lunch. We have a reservation for lunch at 2:25, so we're getting really close to that. So we don't want to do anything that's going to get in the way of that. But maybe we could just hop in and see Carousel of Progress real quick. That's a 20-minute show. It's 1:40. We would have 20 minutes to walk over there. So let's do that. It is the longest continuously running stage show in America, and that is because the actors are robots. It's an animatronic show that takes you through history. You go through several different time periods and see an American family experiencing the technologies of that age. I love this. It is very nostalgic for Disney fans because it did debut at the 1964 World's Fair. Walt did work on it himself. It's also a really big theater that can run several shows at one time, so even on the busiest of days, it's really, really, really rare for this to fill up. So we are going to get to walk right in, hopefully.
Once again, as you enter the theater, select the row, continue to go.
Stream with my heart, and when we follow the stream with my heart.
A delightful spin on Carousel of Progress, literally, because the building spins. Got it? And now it's lunchtime. If you're, hungry right now, go grab a snack. Pause the video. Get yourself a snack. If it's lunchtime, get lunch. We can eat together. And we're headed to a very exciting place. This is supposed to be a perfect day. And Magic Kingdom is a little slim on perfect restaurants. If you are going quick service, I recommend Casey's Corner or Columbia Harbor House. But on a really busy day like today, I actually recommend making a table service reservation for lunch. The busiest point of the day is going to be lunchtime-ish. We're dining a little bit later than lunchtime, but it's still very much the busiest point of the day. The park is incredibly crowded, wait times are incredibly long, it's difficult to get Genie Plus lightning lanes, so it's a great time to go take a break from all of that and have a nice meal sitting down with your family. And don't worry if you didn't prep to do that. I did not plan to have a reservation today, so I hadn't booked anything. Oh no! While I was in line for Tron this morning, I got on the My Disney Experience app. I went to check dining availability and put in the details of what I would like for my meal today. And I was able to find a reservation at Skipper Canteen for a little after lunchtime, a little before 2:30. And that's where we're headed. I made it to Jungle Navigation Co. Limited Skipper Canteen, which is a Jungle Cruise themed restaurant. More adventurous menu here, but if you're into adventurous eats, it is for sure one of the best restaurants in Magic Kingdom. A really delightful menu, $2 signs, so it's not the most expensive. And I'm gonna use mobile check-in to go ahead and check in to the restaurant, which you'll find when you go to your reservation in the My Disney Experience app. There'll be this start check-in button. When you're nearby and it's close enough, you fill out your information and then check in. So now I will just get a text when they're ready to seat me. So I'm gonna hang out. If you've ridden Jungle Cruise, you are no doubt familiar with the backside of water, which is named for Dr. Schweitzer Falls. Right there he is in front of the falls. And this restaurant is run by his daughter in the story, is she a doctor? I think she is, Dr. Alberta Falls. And it's got a number of different rooms. It's got the Falls family room, it's got the mess hall, which is where the crew dines, and it's also got the secret meeting room of the Society of Explorers and Adventurers, or SEA. If you want to learn more about Skipper Canteen in general, decide if this is the right restaurant for you, there is a full review of Skipper Canteen on our channel that we filmed during our huge last to leave competition, but I'll of course share what I get today too. Okay, they are on it from a service perspective. I've already ordered, I already have my food. I think I've been here for like 8 minutes. It's amazing. I have my appetizer, I mean. So first of all, this is the biggest water glass I've ever seen in my life, which is exactly what you want when you're in Magic Kingdom, because I guarantee you are not drinking enough water. However much water you're drinking, drink more. This is an alcoholic beverage. Now, Magic Kingdom is a dried park except in the table service restaurants. So they do have some cocktails, wine, and beer available in the table service restaurants. I went with the Skipper Sangria. This is the white version. They have a white and a red. So fruity wine drink just as a nice relaxer at lunch. Then I also got their Lost and Found soup. Now, Lost and Found soup is just their soup of the day. It is not always this. It depends on the day, what you're getting. That's why it's called Lost and Found. This one is a carrot and sweet potato soup that's a little bit spicy, topped with peanuts, and it looks really amazing. So on a cooler day like today, I'm excited to try it out. Oh, wow. That's really tasty. I like white sangria. I can't drink red for some reason. I can't digest it. You don't care. Maybe you do? Listen, somebody called me a tummy trouble in the comments one time, and that's true. That is what I am. But I love white sangria. This is on the sweeter side, and it's clearly made with some juice, so there's for sure pineapple juice in this. I love this like huge raspberry in there. I'm gonna eat that. I cannot wait. But it's really well balanced, even though it is on the sweeter side of sangria. I'm still getting a lot of taste of the wine. So I'm impressed with this. I think if you want a really refreshing kind of like summery beverage, this is really gonna hit the spot for you. I'm sure the red is just as delicious. And now trying out our soup, some peanuts. Definitely coconut milk base. I'm tasting a lot of that, which I like. If you're not a fan of coconut milk, I would make sure to ask here if their soup is made with a lot of coconut milk flavor, because I can for sure taste it. But super well seasoned and very savory and robust, but none of the flavors are jumping out. They're all meshing really well. So there's not a really strong carrot or sweet potato. It's just meshing really well into a creamy, smooth soup. I love the peanuts on top for some crunch. And at the very end, there was like an amazing like aromatic thing happening where I got a lot of like kind of fall spices in my nose. Really killer soup, and definitely warming me up a little bit when it's a little cooler today. Now you can make fun of me for calling it cold because it is 67. All right, my entrees arrived. This is the sustainable fish, and that is not piranha, served over bok choy, lotus root, bell peppers, and shiitake mushrooms in a light ginger lemongrass broth. The not piranha today is red dram, I think is what she said it was called, which is like a nice white fish. I was between this and the noodle bowl, and like my waitress almost immediately said fish. Like she didn't even hesitate. So I'm very excited to try it because she seemed enthusiastic. Ooh. Okay. The fish itself, this red dram, is most like tilapia, in my opinion. So not exactly like the nicest, fanciest fish, but it certainly doesn't have any like fishy flavor to it, and it really does accept the other flavors from the dish. My favorite thing about this is that there's crispy skin on top. I love a crispy fish skin, and it is so good as adding like a nice textural element to this. The fact that it's served over a broth is something I feel like you don't see that often. There's tons of veggies cooked in this broth. The lemon broth has like a zingy gingeriness to it while still being like light and refreshing and really coating the fish and everything in a nice kind of easy way. It's almost like if you had like a lighter olive oil sort of texturally. All of the veggies are perfectly cooked. Everything is slightly soft and just still has like some crunch to it. And again, soaking up that broth flavor. It's really spectacular. Now, I know what you're thinking. Quincy, last time we saw you, you were eating at Skipper Canteen, and now you appear to be in a courtyard from a reality TV show. And that's true. I'm in Adventureland still, so I didn't go that far. But basically, here's what happened. I was eating at Skipper Canteen. I had to go to the bathroom, and I was like, well, that's fine. I'll just go to the bathroom when I get up to leave Skipper Canteen. So I like waited longer than I typically would have because I knew I had access to a restaurant bathroom. And then I really needed to go. And so when I got up to leave, I went to the bathroom, and there was like a 15-person line but I had waited so long that was now a really big problem that I was not going to be able to wait through a 15-person line. So then I went out into Adventureland in a scramble, trying to think of the bathroom I could go to. So I went to the main one in Adventureland, between Adventureland and Frontierland, and that one had like a 25-person line. And so then I was panicking, but I kid you not, yesterday I read an AllEars.net blog post by one of our reporters about bathrooms and the best bathrooms that our reporters use, and had talked about bathrooms in Tortuga Tavern right here, which I did not know about. They're in the back of the restaurant, and I learned about them literally yesterday, and I had an epiphany while I was panicking in Frontierland that I could go to the Tortuga Tavern's bathrooms, and then I went, and there was no one in there. Moral of the story, my team is amazing. Everybody who works with me is amazing and geniuses. And also, AllEars.net has some serious tips that even help me. So we're cool now. The crisis has been averted. And I actually don't know where I'm going. So I was thinking about Pirates because it was a 45-minute wait earlier, but it's now 105 minutes, and I think that's a little too long for Pirates. So Skipper Canteen was great until the bathroom disaster. Definitely more adventurous eats there. Certainly than anything in Magic Kingdom, and definitely on the adventurous side for all of Disney World as well. But everything is really high quality, and I think it's a really awesome sit-down spot. It is on the mid-level expense side for Disney, but still relatively expensive if you're thinking in the scope of restaurants. So my meal, a drink, an appetizer, an entree, and a hot tea was $75 after tip. So just to give you an idea. Now, I haven't been watching Genie Plus like a hawk today because I'm just kind of using it for those bigger rides and doing what I can along the way. Not really scared of those 2-hour cooldowns, which I highly recommend. Book up those bigger rides and then just forget about it. But let your 2-hour cooldown pass, set a timer for when you can book again, and then book another big ride and forget about it. And then soon enough, late in the day, you'll be riding all of your favorite rides, which is what will be happening to us later tonight, which is awesome. Now, waits are really long at this time, and I'm also very full. So I think I might do something to digest a bit and head to one of my favorite shows, a very classic show, and a show that is soon getting a bit of an update, Country Bear Jamboree. This is located in Frontierland. It is a small show where some country bears sing you a musical review. It is really, really funny, very classic. I absolutely love it. It's short, it's sweet, and you don't typically have to wait more than until the next show. You know it's busy when Country Bear Jamboree is full.
Yes, folks, we only have high-class stuff on this show.
That was great. I love Country Bear Jamboree. And it occurred to me it's probably too late. And I would love to take the riverboat, but it is 4:45. I mean, I don't know. It's not parked, but I don't know if it's the last sailing or not. It's kind of cold, but also the riverboat I think runs a little longer on busy days, so I don't really know if it's still running or not. So I'll just stroll over there and check.
Stand by to go ashore.
Welcome back to Liberty Square. At this time, please look around together for all personal belongings. Take small children by the hand. Everyone on the upper decks, please take one of the stairways all the way down to the bottom deck.
The really good news is that while I was on the boat, I was refreshing my modify screen for that Big Thunder Lightning Lane when I meant to get Haunted Mansion, and I got a Haunted Mansion Lightning Lane for a little after 7, so I am going to get to see the Hatbox Ghost today. And hopefully next time I can book a Lightning Lane, I'll be able to refresh and grab a Big Thunder Mountain one as well. I'm not going to hold my breath for it because that one has been unavailable for a while now, but it would be cool. So we'll aim for it and see what we can do. Speaking of Lightning Lanes though, it's time for us to ride the one we booked way this morning when we rode Jungle Cruise, if you can believe it, Peter Pan's Flight. Peter Pan's Flight is one of the most popular attractions in this park. It is a slow-moving dark ride where you ride in a flying pirate ship over London, over Neverland, see Peter Pan, Wendy, and their adventures. It's adorable, it's nostalgic, it's been here since opening day, and it typically has incredibly long waits. Right now, it has posted a 125-minute wait, and it has been over 2 hours for the last couple of hours as far as I've seen. But we have that 5:25 p.m. lightning lane, which means we get to hop right in. Oh, wow.
Here we go!
More girls. Hi, Emma. Hi, Quincy. Hi, Fry. We are off Peter Pan's flight. That's just a nice ride. It warms the cockles of me up. I don't know why I said that. But I really like the part where you go past the mermaids because we always like to say that that's me, Fry, and Emma because it's a redheaded brunette and a blonde. So it's pretty cute. It's pretty cute. So our next lightning lane is until 7. It's 5:39 now. And then we have one right after at 7:25. And hopefully we'll have, you know, some more good ones that we'll be able to book after that too. Okay, I've decided on my treat. I'm gonna start strolling that direction. While I do, I'm just gonna double check that there's not any weirdly low wait times for something that I wanna ride. Because if any of those like really great, really popular must-do attractions has a low wait time, I will kind of rock it over there and see if I can grab that. If not, we'll do treat time until our next lightning lane, or at least for part of it. Let's see, wait times. Now, the place we're getting a treat is actually going to subvert our a very typical tip from our Magic Kingdom Perfect Days. One thing that we often do at a Magic Kingdom Perfect Day is extend our time in the park in the evening by going to Plaza Ice Cream Parlor after the park closes. So there are a select few locations that remain open after the park closes. Specifically, you're looking at the shops on Main Street USA, Plaza Ice Cream Parlor, and the confectionery typically. It's usually about 30 minutes after park close that these remain open. And that's usually a really great time to do that. Now, they do get very busy because a lot of people are trying to extend their park day by going to these spots, but you're not missing out on rides or anything because the rides are all closed. And it's a great way to enjoy some ice cream, kind of watch people trickle out of the park at the very end of the day. It's very magical. Now, I'm going to skip that tonight for a couple of reasons. One, this is a very long day, and that's just not reasonable for a lot of folks. And sometimes you want to eat your ice cream at a more reasonable time. Two, it's kind of chilly right now. It is, you guys can judge me again, 63, which is not that chilly, and good ice cream weather. But tonight, it'll be in the 50s, and that's not good ice cream weather. Main Street still looks so wild. It is such a busy day. I've headed to Plaza Ice Cream Parlor. They serve Edie's ice cream here, so technically the Edie's isn't that exciting, but they do have peanut butter sauce, which is just, I think, Reese's peanut butter sauce, but it's still delicious. Wow, the line goes out of the door. I got the biggest brownie sundae ever. Now, this usually comes with hot fudge. I asked for, instead of hot fudge, just extra peanut butter sauce, and I'm pretty jazzed about it because the peanut butter sauce is my favorite. But I am gonna head and try to find somewhere that is a little less crowded to enjoy my ice cream. I was able to find a super comfy spot back where I was earlier. There's no one back here. I got a table and everything, and there's Christmas lights, and I can hear the Frozen show. And I'm gonna be honest, I just sat down and I was eating this on the way here, and it's already mostly demolished. It's a warm cakey brownie topped with 2 flavors of ice cream of your choice. I went with vanilla. It usually comes with hot fudge, but I got that peanut butter sauce and then whipped cream and a cherry. It's delicious, especially like it might be like winter time. But 1, it's still warm enough in Florida to eat ice cream, and 2, there's warm brownie, so it's basically a hot food. I just need to say that that was too much ice cream for one person, and I did eat the whole thing, so it's a good thing that we shared, right? If anyone asks, you and I split that ice cream sundae, and I did not eat it by myself. If anyone asked, that's what happened. Anyway, now my stomach hurts. You didn't eat enough of it. I really carried the weight on that one. I booked Pirates because Pirates is still available. I was gonna try to modify to Big Thunder, so worst case scenario, my 2-hour cooldown starts, because if you modify, your 2-hour cooldown doesn't start over. So I'll try to get Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. If not, we have Pirates. which for me is more of a must-do than Big Thunder anyway. I would just like both. Can we make it happen? Maybe. I also need to make sure I'm watching the clock because it gets dark so early, which means fireworks tonight are at 8 p.m., I think. Which I actually do have a break in my lightning lanes at 8 p.m. So I'll probably try to keep it that way. So that we can watch the fireworks. I think fireworks crowds are going to be a little scary, so we might try to get a good spot down Main Street so we're not in like the major crush of it. All right, we're in luck. I didn't book Big Thunder, but I got an earlier Pirates. I think I'm still going to try for Big Thunder because I would like it, and I think I'm willing to wait a 40-minute line for Pirates, which is what has been on and off all day. But, you know, we'll see. I might stick with Pirates. I don't know. I'm going where the wind takes me. Speaking of where the wind takes me, you might have noticed that I am here in Adventureland again. And that may or may not be because I went to go to the bathroom by Casey's Corner, and then the line was really long. So I'm now going to Tortuga Tavern, my new paradise. The secret club of Tortuga Tavern bathroom goers. Now, welcome to the secret club. We will think of a cooler name. Secret club is ruined. When Tortuga Tavern closes, the indoor seating for Tortuga Tavern closes, and so does the bathroom. So, to Frontierland we go. I imagine we're going to be waiting in a long line because the closest bathrooms are the ones between Frontierland and Adventureland, which are very busy, and the Rapunzel bathrooms, which are probably the busiest. Listen, I did not intend for this video to have this much, like, a bathroom quest situations, but I've just realized that there is the bathroom back behind the train. Used to be the exit of Splash Mountain, will be the exit of Tiana's Bayou Adventure. These are real. This is a real struggle of a busy day in Disney World, is that every bathroom line is like 45 people. I'm exaggerating, but it really does feel like that when you need to use the bathroom. Great news. They are in fact still open. Are these new? They look new. But the ground is old. And this, I feel like the path is new. I don't know, maybe it's not. And there's no line. All right, kids, we're rolling. It is lightning lane time, baby. One thing that happened is Haunted Mansion has gone down, which means we have a multi-experience pass. So when you have a lightning lane for an attraction and it goes down for whatever reason during your return window, you will automatically be issued an experience redemption pass. These passes are great. They're actually better than a regular lightning lane because they're not tied to one attraction or one time. So I now have a experience redemption pass that I could use for Haunted Mansion or I could use for something else. Now I still intend to use that experience redemption pass for Haunted Mansion. Now I could use it for Big Thunder, which the only reason I would do that is if I happen to catch Haunted Mansion when I can get in line when there's no one there because it just reopened. But I don't know about that. We will see where the wind takes us. What I'm doing right now is I'm slowly making my way over towards Space Mountain. It is across the park, and I don't love the idea of crisscrossing the park, but we're gonna come over here and scope out Haunted Mansion, see what's going on in the Haunted Mansion department, what the likelihood of that opening looks like, and then we'll start making our way over towards Space Mountain. If we happen to pass like a weirdly low wait on like Mad Tea Party or Carousel, those have been long all day. If we pass a little wait, we might hop on one, but our lightning lane window is happening right now, so we got an hour to get back over there. Okay, it's open now, so instead of marching all the way over to Space Mountain, we're gonna go ahead and do Haunted Mansion. This should be really interesting because the ride was just down. People got experience redemptions. It's just come up. It's got a 125-minute standby wait, but there are also not that many people in the standby queue. So my guess is that means we might be in for a long lightning lane wait. Now, lightning lane waits will never be that long. Even when something goes wrong, they will do everything in their power to make it a short wait for you because you paid for this. So we'll see. We'll see what this looks like right now. So interestingly, my experience redemption was glitching and it was giving me blue when I was scanning. Blue means no. They just think red's scary, so you get blue or green. Blue is bad, green is good. I was getting blue when I was scanning my experience, my lightning lane experience, and he asked me to scan again, so I did. And then when it went blue again, he looked and he said, "It says that you don't have it for this attraction." I showed it to him on my phone and he was like, "Well, you certainly do have it for this attraction." And he sent me on through. Now what that means is I think that my experience redemption didn't get used. So we might get to use it for Big Thunder Mountain Railroad still, just as a stroke of luck. And it's up to the pre-show in 5 minutes. Hotbox Ghost looks awesome. Love that. First question. If before the Hotbox Ghost, there were 999 happy haunts but room for 1,000, and after Hotbox Ghost, there are 999 happy haunts but room for 1,000, then who got kicked out? Because it's 999 either way, so clearly somebody, there was a haunt that got kicked out. Like, who got voted off the island? What was my other question? Oh, right. Okay, so it's 7:30, which... here's our dilemma. So we've got the Space Mountain Lightning Lane. If we give that up, we are not getting on Space Mountain tonight because it has the longest wait in the park. It was 140 minutes last time I checked. And on top of that, it is a Lightning Lane that we got hours ago, and Lightning Lanes have been unavailable for several hours. So I don't think we should give that up because I think we should ride Space Mountain. But if we ride Space Mountain right now, we surely will not be able to get a good spot for fireworks on Main Street. So it's either good spot for fireworks, no Space Mountain, and maybe watch fireworks from behind the castle. And I personally am leaning towards Space Mountain and watch fireworks from behind the castle. There's a couple things to know for if you do choose to watch fireworks on a super, super busy day like this. The best places to watch them are going to be from unconventional places, because if it's going to be so busy in front of the castle, you'll have to probably get there an hour in advance to ensure a good spot, and it will be so crowded right in front of the castle that it could be really overwhelming, really unpleasant. So the best places to watch, the Tomorrowland Bridge, arrive early there too, but only about 30 minutes. The back of the castle where I'm walking right now actually is an excellent place to watch fireworks. You just don't see the projections, but it is my favorite place to see the fireworks because they surround you. You can also watch from elsewhere in Disney World, so watching fireworks from the beach or from the fireworks viewing areas at Contemporary, where you can actually even make out some of the projections. Now, if you want to see those projections, you want to see the projections, and I understand that. So in that case, I would go ahead and make sure you're getting there about an hour in advance. Grab yourself a snack, some ice cream, pop a seat, eat your ice cream, and then regret it. Who did that? No one's done that. No one's eaten ice cream tonight and regretted it. And check out those fireworks. It can be a great way to slow down. Just plan for that time, because trying to get in front of the castle close to fireworks time is going to be an absolute no-go on a busy day like this. Fireworks are out for another 25 minutes, and they already are not letting people cross over the bridge between Fantasyland and Magic Kingdom. I can see that there are people backed up all the way to the other end of the bridge. And I know from experience that the view of the fireworks from there is obstructed. There's an obstructed view of the projections. So now, if fireworks are a priority, make it a priority. And if they're not, be okay with not making them a priority. That's another huge tip today. We talked about the priorities thing. Include fireworks in that conversation. Do you need to see those projections? Do you need to see Tinkerbell fly? If you do, get over there an hour before fireworks and get settled. Space Mountain is a thrilling roller coaster through the dark where you hurtle through space. It is a rough coaster. This is not my favorite because it's a little rough on the old body. But a lot of people really love it. Emma loves this one. It's one of her favorites. So absolutely a must do. And one that we're gonna knock out right now. Okay, we're actually not that late to fireworks. It started 5 minutes ago, so we're still going to see most of the show. Before I walk outside, I'm just going to explain them. Happily Ever After is the nightly fireworks spectacular in this park. It is just that, spectacular. Disney songs you know and love, original music for the show, absolutely unbelievable fireworks, amazing projections, kind of a heart-wrenching story arc, I would even call it. I absolutely love this show. I was blown away the first time I saw it, and it's one of my favorite fireworks shows of all time. So definitely worth seeing, whether you see it just with the fireworks and lights where we're going to watch it, or whether you see it in front of the castle. Now, it's way more crowded back here than it usually is, but there's still a ton of space. I'm standing in one of these archways because I can see the castle fireworks and the fireworks back behind really well. think because even though it's like super busy and all the lines are really long, a lot of people here are like having family traditions and they're having a nice time, and I get to go see my family tomorrow for the holidays. So I know you're watching this after the holidays, but I hope that you guys had a really amazing holiday time and got to spend a lot of time with your loved ones. And now I gotta figure out where I'm going next, so I'm crying. Oh man. I sat down because I gotta stop crying and I didn't drink any of my water. I don't know where I'm going, so I'm gonna figure it out. So it's not wise to chase after a short wait time right now, especially when we have a lightning lane we can make it to. So we're gonna head to that. Most desirable lightning lanes at this point are unavailable this late in the night. Genie Plus did sell out in Magic Kingdom today. That's very rare. That's a testament to how busy it is today. The Genie Plus sold out, and that's why lightning lanes have been, you know, a bit of a touch and go thing for us today, but we've been pretty lucky. We've gotten everything we wanted to. I believe we can use this experience redemption on Big Thunder. I think we just got a little lucky with that one. That kind of thing can happen, and it's something to just accept when it does. That's just a nice thing to happen to us. So I think we'll probably try to do Big Thunder after Pirates, and if we don't get in, we don't get in, and that's okay, but hopefully we do. Now, most of the time, if you're able to stay after fireworks, that is going to be one of the best times to ride things during your day at Magic Kingdom. This is true pretty much all the time. If the park is open, sometimes the park closes and the fireworks show happens right at park close. But if the park stays open after fireworks, it's usually a time that the crowds really thin out because a lot of families have been here since the early morning. The kids are tired, parents are tired, and that fireworks show is kind of the last thing they can push themselves through for them to head out. That means that one, it's a very busy time to try to leave the park, the busiest actually. It's even busier than after park close. And it also means that there are fewer people in the park after the fireworks. So I'm not sure how that will work tonight because it is very, very, very crowded and there are still a ton of people walking around. So I'm interested to see what the effect is on wait times. In addition, I am planning on wrapping up the night with riding Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I'm going to get in line at the very last minute the park is open. As long as you're in line at whatever 59 before park close, you will get to ride as long as nothing breaks. I also think that my timing for lunch was so weird that I am probably not going to get dinner, which feels strange, but I don't eat a ton and I had a really big lunch. So I might just go with something kind of snacky for dinner. But this time, after fireworks, when the rides start to swell back up again, if you had that late lunch and want to do that late dinner, great time for dinner. In general, it's just a great idea to not eat on peak meal times. Today we got that reservation, which was really nice. We didn't have to deal with it, but with very busy days, mobile order waits will get really long. So eating at non-peak meal times, not typical meal times, is going to be a real help. If you want lunch, eat early, eat at 10:30 or 11 instead of noon or 1. Or eat late, eat at 2 or 3 instead of noon or 1. Same for dinner. Just eat a few hours before or a few hours after the typical meal time, and it'll help you not have to deal with those longer lines. Lots of folks at Pirates right now lined up for the lightning lane. We've just kind of been the whole thing all day. Space Mountain was actually my longest lightning lane of the day. It took about 20 minutes to get through that lightning lane. Most of the queue was the lightning lane, which is wild. Pirates also only has a posted 25 right now. I bet you that is shooting up as we speak and will be longer than that for the people getting in line right now. There is nothing like a Pirates water smell after a long Disney day, after you cried a little at the fireworks. Good news, the experience redemption worked, so I'm about to get on Big Thunder. So again, just a little happy gift. Probably can't see me, but I'm very glad that we got to ride that. Oh, you can't kind of see me. I'm very glad we got to ride that because Big Thunder is so much fun. I was in the second row. It is nighttime and Big Thunder is so cool at night. It was fast, it was thrilling, really, really fun. So now we're kind of in that last hour of the day. Not kind of, we are in the last hour of the day. The park closes at 10. It's like 9:15 now. Plan is to hop in line for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, very last thing. So I might eat when I get back to the hotel. And as we all know, when I say I'm going to the hotel, that means I'm going to my house with my cat. But I'll probably eat when I get back to the hotel, which is totally an option. I ate lunch my reservation was at 2:25. I was eating until like 3:30 or 4, so I had a very late lunch today, and I just think that dinner is not in the cards for me, especially with that brownie sundae that we definitely shared and that I ate a reasonable amount of. It's a Small World has a 10-minute wait. It dropped literally since I opened the app a second ago. Let's head on in. It's a Small World is a slow-moving boat ride that takes you around the world. I think we might only have time for this before Seven Dwarfs Mine Train because it is a pretty long attraction. It's a 15 to 20 minute attraction, but definitely a classic and a must-do. The original version of this ride was at the 1964 World's Fair, designed with art by legendary Disney artist Mary Blair, and just a heart warmer with a bit of an earworm. Let's head on in. Okay, I'm off at the Small World. I don't really have any time to do anything else if I want to make it on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, so I'm heading on over there. And I think that's going to be a big finale to our day. About to check the wait time again. So cross your fingers that it's dropped a bit from 110 minutes. This is a Snow White themed roller coaster that is very fun and very cute. It's a unique roller coaster because you sit in these carts that sort of swing back and forth as you go. It's a little on the short side, but there's a really cool indoor section where you see the Seven Dwarfs and such. So I think it'll be a great way to end our night, and hopefully it's not quite as long as the wait time was posted. Okay, I'm wrapped up. I'm headed out of the park. My actual wait on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train was a little bit over an hour, so not as bad as the posted wait time, thankfully, which means we did it. I think we had a really great day. We rode pretty much all of the most popular attractions in this park. I think if there's one more I would have done, I wish I would have done Winnie the Pooh. But we've done pretty much everything. We saw the parade. We got to see the fireworks, at least most of the fireworks. We had a great table service meal, and all on one of the most crowded days of the year. And I don't feel like we ended up in any like too long lines or anything like that. So in sum, you can have a good day. And I had a great day today. Just be prepared with a little bit of a different expectation if you show up and it's slammed. We've got a ton of exciting stuff coming this year, so stay tuned to our channel for all the exciting challenges, perfect days, and a whole lot more. In fact, this weekend you can tune in to see Hide and Seek, where we played 8-person hide and seek in all 4 Disney World parks. And things got wild. Yeah. I'll see you at the premiere at 10 a.m. this Saturday. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe, and now go watch our perfect day park hopping from Hollywood Studios to Epcot. I'll see you there. One more thing, if you're leaving any time between fireworks and park close, you're gonna be in a really long line. Take the ferry. The line, even if it looks longer, the ferries load so many people, they will run multiple ferries. Take the ferry. And also, did I tell you guys where I parked my car?